We have reached the point in the NBA season where trade rumors are coming at us fast and furious. This latest piece of news involves some potential movement within the Golden State Warriors franchise. Now, according to Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer, the Warriors are interested in both Victor Oladipo, a guard with the Houston Rockets, and Otto Porter Jr., a forward with the Chicago Bulls. This video explains what each of those players would bring to the Warriors and what would need to happen for Golden State to snag each guy. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Troy. So glad you could tune into the channel today. Really exciting stuff to talk about on today's video. I make NBA content like this all the time, so if that's your thing, do me a favor and click that subscribe button so you never miss another NBA video. Also, make sure you leave a like. It really helps out the channel in a big way. I cover every NBA team on this channel, but I do have lots of Warriors fans who are subscribers. So whenever there's Warriors news that's reliable, I'm going to tell you about it on the Half Court Report. And again, this news comes from Kevin O'Connor, who I find to be one of the most reliable sources in the NBA media. I'm going to link his article in the description of this video, but over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you some of the highlights and my thoughts on this news and how it impacts Golden State. So according to Kevin, league sources say that the Warriors are interested in acquiring Victor Oladipo of the Houston Rockets. Oladipo, of course, former Indiana Pacer. He came over to Houston in that James Harden trade. He's been up and down this season following major knee surgery. So far for the year, averaging about 20 points on about 40% shooting from the field. If he were to come to Golden State, it would have to be through trade because Golden State would not have the cap space to sign him this summer. But he could really help solidify that Golden State roster for the second half of the season. One thing working in Golden State's favor is that Houston really can't demand too much in an Oladipo deal. The reason being because he hasn't played that great this year, and since he'll be an unrestricted free agent. And that's good because Golden State really wouldn't have a whole lot to offer in an Oladipo trade. Since they have first-round picks that are already owed to other teams, the Warriors are only able to deal up 2 first-round picks. One from 2021, that comes from Minnesota via the D'Angelo Russell deal, or the first-round pick from 2022, or picks from 2026 or 2027. Remember, first-round picks can't be traded in back-to-back years, so we're looking at picks from 2021, 2022, or one of the picks from 2026 or 2027. Kevin goes on to say that Golden State's interest in Oladipo signals that the front office has intentions to find another ball handler. Steph Curry and Draymond Green are always going to be excellent offensive engines, but the Warriors are missing that next Andre Iguodala or Sean Livingston, players who they really counted on during their deep playoff runs. So could Oladipo fill that role? His scoring efficiency is down, but I think on the Warriors he would receive better looks when surrounded by better talent. He can also play make and play hard-nosed defense. The Warriors are a team who need wing depth, and Oladipo should be one of the players that is on their radar. Oladipo was a player I mentioned in a video last week about players who I think are definitely going to get traded by the deadline. So in this case, with Victor Oladipo getting traded, I think it's more of a matter of where he gets traded and when he gets traded, not so much if he gets traded. Another name being mentioned in conjunction with the Warriors is Otto Porter Jr. of the Chicago Bulls. In this same article, Kevin says teams are eyeing Otto Porter, who's only played about 45 games with the Bulls since his trade from the Wizards back in 2019. Like Oladipo, he's been having injury issues as well. Porter is not in the Bulls' plans anymore, especially with the rise of their young rookie Patrick Williams. So Chicago could just choose to let Porter's contract run out before he hits the free agent market this offseason. But there are some executives who believe a buyout could also happen. It would be like what happened with Blake Griffin last week when he was bought out of his contract with the Detroit Pistons. He was able to give back some of that guaranteed money and in turn became a free agent and was able to choose which team he wanted to play for. That's what would happen with an Otto Porter buyout. In a case like this, the Warriors would be up against some of the more championship-ready teams in order to acquire Porter services. So the competition could be pretty steep, and Porter might not choose to go to the Bay. And finally, I'm still keeping my eye on a potential Lonzo Ball trade to the Warriors from the New Orleans Pelicans. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about the Warriors wanting extra ball handlers on this team. Lonzo can give you that, but he's also a solid defender and has become a lot more reliable as a shooter. He's posting career highs by making about 34% of his three-pointers taken off the dribble and about 39% of his pull-up twos. He looks more comfortable than ever when he's shooting the ball, especially from the perimeter. Ball is also hitting 40% of his catch-and-shoot threes, which is up from last season. Sources say that trade talks involving Lonzo have fizzled out a little bit for now, but I think it's something we should still be watching. Whether Lonzo stays with the Pelicans or goes somewhere else, he can bring defense and playmaking to anybody's backcourt. New Orleans is having to consider what type of contract Lonzo would demand this offseason in restricted free agency. If you'll recall, they offered him a deal last year that he turned down. He was betting on himself that he could improve his play and get an even bigger contract for this offseason, and it looks like he's doing just that. So do the Pelicans want to commit another long-term deal when they already have Brandon Ingram tied up? You're going to have Zion Williamson due for a contract at some point. You have Steven Adams, who's tied up with a long-term deal. And you also have other young players in that backcourt who you want to develop. I think a trade remains a possibility. I think the Pelicans will continue to listen to offers and be active ahead of the trade deadline. And I think the Warriors are one of the teams we need to be looking at for a potential Lonzo destination. Guys, that's a rundown of what I've been hearing throughout the league involving several key players. Would love to hear what you think about these potential moves in the comments. If you're a Warriors fan, I definitely want to hear from you. And if you're new here, make sure to click that subscribe button, drop a like before you go to help support the channel. Make sure you click the boxes on the screen for more NBA content just like this. Again, thanks so much for watching. My name is Troy, and I'll see you next time.